How many other kids in Derry know about Pennywise? Is he really dead? Does anyone remember being terrorized by a cosmic entity masquerading as a clown? The It novel goes deeper into Pennywise's lore, but we're looking at the film franchise, and we have questions. Warning, this video contains fast, flashing images. Viewer discretion is advised, especially for those with photosensitive epilepsy. In both It Chapter 1 and It Chapter 2, director Andy Muschietti grounds Pennywise's hold over the town of Derry, Maine considerably better than Tommy Lee Wallace did in 1990 with the made-for-TV miniseries. Its presence is an oil slick of evil that coats everything, and you feel it. When young Ben Hanscom is attacked and knifed by Henry Bowers and his crew, a car with a couple inside rolls right on by, ignoring the assault. The red balloon that appears in the back seat is enough indication that evil flourishes in Derry, because Pennywise lets it, with none of the adults strong or resolved enough to fight back. Pharmacists, parents, and even law enforcement are steadfastly held by Pennywise's chokehold. Derry's been in its grip since the town's formation.
Everybody just thought it was a plague or something. But it's like one day everybody just woke up and left.
It begs the question, does Derry ever come to terms with Pennywise's influence? A lot of people saw a lot of messed up stuff. Do any of those repressed memories among the townsfolk come back now that Pennywise is gone? Do the adults return to normal with reasonable cognizance of the tragedies that played out? The losers get their happy ending, but the fate of the rest of the town that's been locked in the stranglehold of evil for centuries is left incredibly vague. It's sort of frustrating, especially considering how central an element it was, especially in Part 1. With a prequel series in development at HBO Max, it's clear the creative team behind both It Chapter 1 and 2 have no intention of letting Pennywise die. While a prequel series makes sense, it compounds the nagging question several audience members had after finishing It Chapter 2. Is Pennywise really dead? While the novel goes deeper into the more cosmic elements, the movie series is considerably less clear. While the happy ending of Chapter 2 certainly suggests Pennywise's evil is contained, the sheer magnitude of his influence and power is hard to reconcile with his ultimate demise. In effect, the surviving members of the Losers Club bully Pennywise into submission before crushing his heart. It's symbolic, sure, but just 27 years prior, the losers were fairly confident they'd defeated Pennywise.
Now you're the one who's afraid. Because you're gonna starve.
Who's to say, like before, Pennywise isn't simply biding his time for another 27 years? As a cosmic entity, it's hard to believe that a very human death would be enough to stop him. Less a question posed specifically by the movies and one that nags on the periphery, audiences might be left wondering whether Pennywise is the only entity of his kind on Earth, or anywhere else. Pennywise found himself in Derry, Maine, for the most part. It's hard not to wonder whether Pennywise or another version of him has shown up anywhere else. Stephen King has included other entities that are similar to Pennywise in his books, so we know there are more out there. It Chapter 2 alludes to Pennywise's arrival while Mike is describing the ritual of Chud, where Pennywise is seen crashing to Earth where Derry would eventually be. But have other entities fallen out of the macroverse and set up shop in little towns around the world? There could be its everywhere. With both the films and the books centered squarely on Derry, we may never know what else is out there. A core component of both It Chapter 1 and It Chapter 2 is the power and efficacy of memory. The collective losers make a blood oath at the conclusion of Chapter 1, promising to finish the job in 27 years if they need to.
If it isn't dead, if it ever comes back, we'll come back too.
Everyone agrees, though by the time Chapter 2 rolls around and Mike Hanlon is calling the requisite losers up, everyone has forgotten all about defeating a murderous alien as children. While that's well explained in the movie and works to ground the horrifying nature of their experience and the curative properties of leaving trauma behind, what doesn't work quite so well is the arbitrary memory at the end of Chapter 2.
Why do you think we're not forgetting? Like last time?
Maybe because it's dead.
If the losers were incapable of remembering the events of Chapter 1, it follows that, in time, the events of Chapter 2 should be forgotten too. Only they're not. Several characters assume that they can remember because the evil is finally destroyed. Additionally, Mike contends that because the conclusion is a good memory, they'll be capable of remembering. But the film positions all of these explanations as guesses, leaving the audience to do the same. It might seem nitpicky, but with memory core to the inciting incidents of Chapter 2, it's fair for audiences to question how exactly it all works. Audiences might be left wondering whether anyone else remembers Pennywise within the boundaries of Derry itself. It Chapter 2 features not just one, but two distinct adolescent deaths. Much like The Losers, you have to wonder whether any of these kids had some sort of club of their own, where they could get together and talk about the literal werewolves or whatever they might have seen. If The Losers remember, it follows that other survivors would as well, like the boy in Chapter 2 whom Pennywise had clearly been taunting for a while.
What kind of voices?
Kids. And other times, like
Like a clown?
The boy ultimately didn't make it, but how many other kids in Derry were being salted with fear before the Losers took care of Pennywise? Would they even know he's been defeated? Or would they spend the rest of their lives in Derry thinking about creepy voices in the plumbing? It Chapter 2 went to great lengths to expand the reach of Pennywise's threat, though in its concluding moments, it all but ignores the full impact on Derry as a whole. It Chapter 1 doesn't especially paint Bill Denbrough's parents in the best light. Instead of rallying to care for their remaining son, they live in a shadow of grief for Georgie that leaves Bill emotionally neglected.
If the storm swept Georgie in, we should have gone.
He's gone! He's dead! He's dead!
In fact, his own parents' coldness towards him is part of what drives Bill to kill Pennywise. Given how thematically crucial their presence in the first film was, though, it's strange that they're absent in Chapter 2. There is no concluding arc for them, they don't appear in flashbacks, and their fate is never mentioned. While it is the Losers Club's story, no doubt, it's odd that Bill has conceptualized Georgie as his brother and his brother alone. Not a son or a friend, but simply a person who exists exclusively in relation to him. The novel gives some closure for the elder Denbroughs, but It Chapter 2 leaves their fate an open question. Leaving Derry and forgetting his hometown no doubt estranged Bill from his parents even more, and it sort of feels like the same thing happened to the film's writers.
You, want me to sign it for you?
Nah, I didn't like the ending.
Check out one of our newest videos right here. Plus, even more SlashFilm videos about your favorite horror movies are coming soon. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell so you don't miss a single one.